pleasure to have in studio with us Andy Sokolovich of Grow Clinton. And just talking, April 6th is when you took over, so it's been a little bit better than a year. And what a year it's been, I would imagine.
Yeah, it went by quick, Gary. It really did. I mean, when we merged the Clinton Regional Development Corporation, the Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and brought it all under one umbrella known as Grow Clinton, it was definitely a lot of work, required a lot of involvement from volunteers and staff. But yeah, it's been a year now that we've been in Grow Clinton, and we got a lot of things going on for sure.
We certainly do, and we got some great talking points. Appreciate you getting those. But first of all, how have you seen the growth and development of Grow Clinton so far?
From a staff perspective, we've added Ashley Hatterberg to our staff. She is our events planner. We have Stacy Borgeson focusing on workforce development and talent attraction. And we just hired Matt Parbs as our Vice President of Community and Economic Development. And many people know Matt as the Sawmill Museum guy. But he was looking for an opportunity to get more involved in economic development, both Main Street and industrial. So we hired him. He's on his fourth week, I believe. So the growth internally has been substantial. Now, what that's allowed us to do really is address multiple concerns throughout the community. From a workforce development standpoint, now we have Stacy Borgeson laser focused on workforce development. And some of the things we've always lacked was marketing collateral, how to promote our community, what information do we have at the ready, whether it be videos or print material. And now with Ashley in-house, she's creating a lot of that material and helping us redesign our website. So we're firing on all cylinders right now. We are fully staffed.
So you got full staff, you got the team together. You've got your annual meeting coming up in June.
June 13th, correct.
And going forward, how do you see things progressing, Andy?
Yeah, well, it's very exciting. From an industrial standpoint, as I alluded to on some of the bullet points that I gave you, we've really been very successful, especially out at the Lincoln Way Industrial Rail and Air Park. So one of the things I'm excited about moving forward is the ability to continue to market that asset and really drive new businesses into that 460 acres of farmland that exists out in the west end of our community. And then I see a lot of small business support. I'm a big fan of entrepreneurial development, have always been. I mean, you've known me for a while, and when I first moved to Clinton, I cut my teeth having my own business, doing marketing and graphic design and web development, radio commercials. You can hear my voice on maybe a few that you're still running today.
Yes.
But I love entrepreneurial development. I feel like there's no better way to grow a community economically than inject new businesses, and that is identifying those inspired entrepreneurs that want to grow and plant their seed right here in our community. So one of the things that we're going to do at Grow Clinton is be a resource, really a one-stop shop for anybody that wants to start a business. They can pop in and we can provide them with all the opportunities, from the Small Business Administration to the Small Business Development Center to SCORE, and into working with local entities like the community college that can help them grow and expand.
Again, visiting with Andy Sokolovich. First bullet point, Project New Horizons, and we begin with the Atlas Roofing Corporation.
Project New Horizons we've been working on since about July of last year, so we're coming up on a year. It is now known, I can say it because it's no longer confidential, Atlas Roofing Corporation. It's part of Hood Companies, a great organization, great holding company. They have about 33 plants across the United States, and they have selected the Lincoln Way Industrial Rail and Air Park here in Clinton, Iowa, to be their flagship shingle manufacturing plant. It's going to be about $223 million of capital investment, and we have 117 incentivized jobs, but total is probably going to be closer to 200 once they're up and operational. It will take about 2 years for construction. There's a lot of dirt work that needs to happen out there, but they also are investing in infrastructure improvements. So we're going to see an extension of the rail out at the rail park, and we'll also see the extension of a 16-inch water main that's going to come from the mobile home park along Highway 30 all the way out to the industrial park there in Lincoln Way. So
there is so much work that goes on to get something like this to come to our community. Talk about that process, Andy.
So first, companies always look at a large geographical area. So they say, we want to move to the Midwest. And we're aware the Midwest contains many states. So how do we stand out? Then what they do is they submit what's called a request for information. That usually goes out to a smaller geographical area, normally a region. And for us, it's the Quad City MSA, which would be Bettendorf, Moline, Davenport, and then obviously Clinton falls into that. It's a large area. And then we partner with folks down at the Quad City Chamber of Commerce. We submit all of our information, basically showcasing what we have. It's our sales pitch via email. And then they basically come up with a short list. And we made that short list, and they came out. And it was actually the golf outing of the day of the golf outing last year. I know because I had shorts on and flip flops, and I was going golfing. And all of a sudden, this company came and wanted to meet. And I didn't have time to go and change, so I go out there. Luckily, there's some laid-back guys, very cool. And we went out and actually walked to the rail line, and we stood there in a field of dirt, and were able to picture what their plant would look like. And that started the ball rolling. And from there, they work with the city of Clinton on a development agreement, which discusses all the incentives that the company will receive for relocating here, also any upfront costs for infrastructure improvements. Once the dust settles from all of that, then we can make a public announcement that they're coming here, and we just signed the land purchase agreement yesterday. So I should be receiving a hefty chunk of change in our checking accounts here within the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then that money goes right back into reinvesting into the park. So as a 501c6 nonprofit, Grow Clinton isn't really designed to generate revenue to support our efforts beyond operational costs. Any money that we make in addition to what we receive through investments goes right back into supporting our community.
Congratulations. That is indeed great news. And when that thing does get up and running, what an influx of people coming into our community.
Yeah, even during the construction phase, we'll have several hundred contractors that'll be here looking for short-term housing. So that's going to support some of our members like Valley Bluff Townhomes and the Landings, and working with our local realtors. So I'm very excited about this project. This is a huge feather in the cap for the entire region, not just the city of Clinton, because it's going to support workforce across the entire region.
Before we take a break for the weather in a couple of minutes, let's go downtown. Of course, right now people are seeing things coming down in downtown. Address that.
The resurgence of downtowns we're seeing nationwide. Again, this leads back to the strong entrepreneurial outreach that we have at Grow Clinton. And one of the cool things is, the Wilson building, now known as the Wilson Lofts on the 200 block of 5th Avenue South, tall white building. It is 33 apartments. The first floor has a very cool small business incubator and a culinary incubator space. And I love both spaces, but the culinary one really speaks to my heart. So for those people that are out there that are interested in selling their baked goods, it's tacos, whatever you can think of, by law, you really have to have an industrial kitchen to manufacture that product before you can go out and sell it. You just can't drive up the riverfront, open up the hatch of your van, and sell your tacos that you made. And you can't do that, right? So what this is going to allow people to do is come in and leverage some great industrial kitchen space to be able to manufacture their food legally and then be able to sell to people right outside their door walking up and down 5th Avenue South. So it's very cool. And obviously, Great Revivalist Brewery has opened up. I had the opportunity to visit there last night. Packed house. I believe they said they had over 100 people arrive for their small lunch window from 11 to 2. And I can say when I left last evening around 7 o'clock, there was not an empty seat in the house. So kudos to them, and kudos to the Downtown Clinton Alliance and all that they've been doing, because we are seeing a great return on a long-time investment in downtown Clinton.
And, when something like that takes place, like the brewery, it's just kind of like a snowball effect. Things start to improve.
Everybody wants to be close to cool stuff, right? I think that's just by human nature. You want to be close to something cool, something new, something, powerful and energetic. And breweries tend to, lack of a better term, brew that feeling. And that's where small businesses want to be. So I think the injection of Great Revivalist Brewery to the downtown footprint, plus the housing amenities that we're looking at in the Wilson Lofts, is going to really increase foot traffic and really drive the growth of downtown.
Much more with Andy Sokolovich on FYI. Our weather break brought to you by American National.
Very summer-like day ahead of us with sunshine, a little bit of a southwest breeze returning today. That should push temperatures up to near the 80-degree mark. Tonight, clear skies. We'll continue to see warmer temperatures with lows in the low 50s and a little cooler for Friday, mid-70s with showers at times. With your Storm Track 8 forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutsky.
Thank you very much, and right now we have a temperature of 62 degrees. Our update brought to you by American National.
Worry less about your insurance coverage while adding money back into your wallet with the American National Cashback Reward Program. Insure your auto and home and remain claim-free for 3 consecutive years, and you can get back 25% of your qualifying first-year premiums. Best of all, your reward continues every year as long as you remain claim-free. Let Agent Kevin Schrader at 348 2nd Avenue South from American National reward your smart thinking. Call Kevin today at 563-244-0876.
Visiting with Andy Sokolovich on FYI. We were talking during the break, and I had a couple of the ladies in from the brewery, but you say it's amazing.
Oh, what they've done there. I mean, they've taken an old church, late 1800s, and converted it into something spectacular. And it really is not just a place to go and grab a beer, but it's an experience. And I was just blown away, number one, by the amount of traffic they had in a very infant opening. I mean, they've only been like open for less than a week, and that place was full. So if you, from the way they've been able to save some of the pews to create some of the walls and stuff, from the phone booth that's in the back corner, to the chandeliers, to the stained glass, to the paintings, it's definitely an experience. It's something that everybody should check out for sure.
Just, in that same area on 4th Avenue South, you got the pool hall, it's coming down. Of course, the old Strand Theater in that area is also going to be coming down. Yeah. What do you foresee maybe going in there?
So for the old Strand, here's the other thing. I mean, I want to tell your listeners that we do everything we can to save those buildings. But there comes a time where just the environment takes over, and they get beyond repair, and it's financially not responsible, nor is it effective to reinvest into the rehabilitation of some of those buildings. So they are being demoed, but specifically for the old Strand Theater, we have a lead on a potential housing unit that could go there with first floor commercial, upper story residential, and then the top story would be condominiums that would overlook the river. So we have...
They get a good look at the river right now.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be that high and you get to look at the river, but these things take time. I mean, we're working on a project right now that we've been working on for 3 years. That's 3 years of bi-weekly Zoom meetings. In between there we had a pandemic. I mean, all these things that we've been working on, and it takes a while for them to come to fruition. And that's really the name of economic development. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. And unfortunately, through some people's lifetimes, they see the worst of the worst. But just know that the people that are in charge right now are doing the best that we possibly can to ensure that the future generation has a quality place to reside and grow their family.
And one of those people in charge, Andy Sokolovich, he is in our studio right now. We talked about Atlas Roofing, but let's go to Nestle Purina.
Yeah.
They are just doing great things and have continued to do great things for a number of years in our community.
Yeah, during the pandemic, a number of industries were hit pretty hard by a loss of sales. Pet food was not one of them. I think the more time people spent at home with their pet, the more that pet became literally part of the family. And they were more concerned about what they were feeding their pet sometimes than what they were feeding themselves. And we've seen double-digit growth year after year in the pet food industry. And that's allowed Purina here in Clinton to expand not just once, but twice. Last year, I think it was last October, we celebrated a $156 million expansion where they brought in a couple new product lines as well as a nice training center. Now we're celebrating about $110 to $113 million expansion in a new warehousing operation out there. And what's cool is what they're not doing is going horizontal and taking up valuable land space with warehousing. They're going vertical. So they're going to have, I believe it's 130 feet vertical. How I explain it in layman's terms is it's very much like a vending machine where the product is going to be positioned somewhere within that vertical space, and a robotic arm is going to go up and lift that product out and bring it down, and then to be palletized and put on a truck. So it's not going to create a ton of jobs, but that's by design. It's really embracing new technology. And for a company like Nestle Purina Pet Care, I see people always say Ralston. Now
Yes.
I got myself saying Ralston, but Nestle Purina Pet Care, to leverage that technology and then continue to invest in the Clinton plant is amazing.
Matt Parbs has come on board of Grow Clinton.
Yeah.
Matt, I love him. I mean, he is so interesting and energetic.
Interesting, energetic, and extremely knowledgeable. And one of the reasons that I love having Matt in our team right now is his desire to really focus on placemaking. Placemaking is kind of a buzzword, but what it truly means is creating a sense of place, creating somewhere that's a destination that people want to go to. They want to live there. They want to visit. I mean, I've been in Clinton now, living in the city of Clinton since 2012. And I love this community, and Matt shares that same passion, and he's a transplant as well. You know, he grew up in Springfield, Illinois. So I often say sometimes it takes people from the outside to come in and really appreciate what we have to offer. And I lived all over the country being in the military, and there is no utopia. There's no place where people say, I love the amount of potholes we have. It's just right. And my property tax is perfect, right where I need it to be. No matter where you go in this country or in this world, there's people that are going to be complaining about the place that they live. But Matt and I really share the same passion, and his desire to see the placemaking grow and the tourism grow is one of the reasons why we made the decision to hire him.
So define his role.
As the VP of Community and Economic Development, he's going to take on some of the tasks that I've been trying to offload for a long time, better part of a year. And one of the cool things about Matt is the stuff that excites him and really gets him going are my areas of lesser talent, like spreadsheets and budgets and strategic planning and things like that. So we partner very well, and it's nice to have kind of a yin to my yang in the office. And, you know, he'll also be working very closely with Leslie Webster, our tourism director, on developing some opportunities to really promote tourism within the community. I mean, today we have a meeting to discuss Iowa Great Places and how we can leverage that program through the state of Iowa to support some grant requests to generate some buzz regarding new programs that we can offer and new tourism amenities. So Matt's just a pool of knowledge, and his job description is very loose and elastic, and that's by design because he is a jack of all trades. So we're going to leverage him to the maximum extent possible.
Loose and elastic would be a good way to describe Matt as well.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. You know, this is something I know I've talked with you about in the past. Yourself, Matt Brook, Matt Parbs, all you Matts. But people coming outside of the community and looking at Clinton at a different perspective, but yet you've got our mayor, Scott Madison, a Clinton native who sees things the same way as you do.
Yeah, Scott's great. You know, I really am excited by the opportunity. I think Tailgate and Tall Boys is going to be a huge hit. You know, not everybody loves the concept of Tailgate and Tall Boys, and I will admit that I've heard some naysayers throughout the community, but what I applaud Scott for is trying something different. Right? Because what's the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But Scott took a chance, and he's trying something different, and I truly believe it is going to be an exciting and very successful opportunity for Clinton to showcase themselves to music lovers from across the Midwest and even across the country that want to travel and see some amazing artists. So, and he's working very hard to ensure that this is going to be a successful event, and kudos to him for trying it. And no doubt in my mind that we're going to see the same success from 2023 into 2024 and beyond, because I believe we're locked in for a 3-year contract for that. So I'm very impressed. You know, I'm reading a book right now called Place Branding, and it's talking about how you brand your location and how you stand out amongst your other neighboring locations, region, even in the country. And it talks about doing stuff different and trying new things is the only way you're going to be able to move forward. And that's what we're doing at Grow Clinton. And I feel, you know, that's what Scott Madison, the mayor of Clinton, is doing with Tailgate and Tall Boys.
And Josh Agers as well.
Yeah, and Josh doing great stuff.
Andy Sokolovich, let's talk about some upcoming things. DEI training.
Yeah, so on May 10th, we are partnering with Iowa State University Extension and Outreach to offer some training on diversity, equity, and inclusion. One of the things that I love about our community is the cultural differences that we have among some of the people that are at the board table or those community influencers from the Jeter family, and the list goes on and on. And I truly believe that the diversity in our community is what makes us strong. And we're offering some training to really discuss how that strengthens our community approach, how that strengthens our message, and how we can embrace that to continue to grow. Again, we're partnering with Iowa State University Extension and Outreach. If you're interested in learning more about that, you can go to growclinton.com. Again, growclinton.com. Click on the events calendar and just select the DEI training, which will be on May 10th.
We're fortunate to have you in every Monday of Grow Clinton at 9:05, and we talk about the ribbon cuttings. We talk about the Biz After 5. Ashley doing a great job with those.
Yeah, we love celebrating our members. And that's one of the reasons, as a 501c6 nonprofit organization, the way that we can continue to do great things throughout the community is by leveraging the dollars we receive from our investors. And our investors want to see a return on that investment. And of course, part of that return is the attraction of Atlas Roofing Corporation. But a large part of that return is the celebration of small business successes throughout the community. So doing the ribbon cuttings, having the Biz After 5, it just opens up a new opportunity for everybody, no matter if you're the highest level investor down to the lowest level investor, to go out there and network, hand out business cards, and really get to know the people that you're doing business with throughout the community.
It's been quite a year for Grow Clinton and, of course, for yourself as well. The annual meeting, as we pointed out, coming up in June. How do you think that might go?
It's going to go great, Gary. I mean, June 3rd. So for years, the Chamber of Commerce always had your standard chamber annual meeting, right? It was a sit down, you had your 3-course meal, you had your presentation, you had your awards, everybody clapped at the end, and everybody went home. When I took over, I wanted to change things and really have a party, truly celebrate. Right? So on June 13th from 4 to 7 p.m., we're renting out the Lumber Kings Stadium, Nelson Core Wealth Management Field, and we're going to have a party. We're going to have live music. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have food. We're going to have networking. All of our board members are going to wear these nice little buttons that say board member on it, so you know how to identify them. But we bring people from all over the Quad Cities that come up for this event, and it truly is a good time. You can expect a short presentation from myself and our member of the staff, really just highlighting our successes from the year, but we don't want to focus too much on what we've accomplished. We want to focus on celebrating our members, and that is what they want is networking, and that's what we're going to give them. So it's always a great time. This is our 3rd year of doing it like this, and every year we receive great compliments on just how laid back and fun it was. There's no dress code. You don't need to be in a suit and tie. You can come in shorts and a t-shirt and just hang out and have a good time.
And flip-flops.
And flip-flops.
There you go.
My favorite.
And Andy, if people would like to find out more what you and your team is doing, how can they best do that?
Visit our office, 721 South 2nd Street. We're located right underneath the South Bridge in the large brick building. It's the former Armstrong building. They can contact us via telephone 242-5702 or visit our website at growclinton.com. But the best way, I feel, in order to get the bang for your buck, is to cruise on by and just walk in our door and meet with our staff and have a conversation.
Always great. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.